Hello and welcome to Good News Africa. So, according to Martha Karua, Kenya needs a series of one-term presidents if it is going to emerge. If presidents are going to be taking their job seriously, that is, Kenya needs a series of one-term presidents. So, do you agree with Martha Karua that Kenya needs a series of one-term presidents? So, basically, I don't think that is true at all. I just think that president should be taking their job seriously. If you are being elected to public office, and then for heaven's sake, work for the people. Why do you wait until it's election time, then you start promising people that if you re-elect me, I will fix the roads, I will provide teachers in schools, I will ensure your young people are employed. Basically, of course, the underlying theory of presidential term limits is that it is better to truncate the rule of a saint than extend the reign of a despot. That is the underlying theory of presidential term limits. That is, it is better to truncate the rule of a saint than extend the reign of a despot. So basically, we have never had a one-term president in Kenya. Of course, other African countries have had one-term presidents, but I think for Kenyans, we have never had one-term president. So, what could a one-term president look like? Will William Ruto become Kenya's first one-term president? That's maybe what we need to ask. Of course, Ruto says he has worked, but then of course he's still on campaign mode. If you ask him, he says tutafanya, tutatenga, tutaleta. Why is he on campaign mode all the time? Basically, he needs to be the one in the steering wheel. He needs to be the commander in chief and ensure that services move closer to the people. Of course, he's launching projects, but what kind of projects is President Ruto launching? He's opening a toilet. Maybe as soon as he is off the scene, then basically people go back and the contractor goes back and sleeps. So basically, these projects that President William Ruto is launching, are they really feasible projects? Do they take place after he has gone? Basically, everywhere Ruto is traveling around the country. You don't know whether it is a campaign mode kind of travel or installing or maybe a campaign mode kind of projects, or maybe it is just or maybe he is just that is he is just going about campaigning mode. Of course, President William Ruto, and then we have to ask President William Ruto on whether he is launching projects that have that benefit the people. This is what we need to ask. Do those projects benefit the people? Then, if we find that they do benefit the people, then let's support him. But if they don't benefit the people, then he should be a one-term president. And maybe, of course, Ruto insiders say there has never been a one-term president in Kenya, and President Ruto is not going to be one. So that's what the Ruto people are saying. There has never been a one-term president, and Ruto is not going to be the first to be the first one-term president of Kenya. So you can see very much how that plays out. Of course, the united opposition is going to front one candidate in order to compete with William Ruto. So, which candidate will it be? I think, for the purposes, I think it is Kalonzo Musyoka that is going to be the compromise candidate for the united opposition. Never mind that he has been in government one way or the other. At least for 40 years. He has been in politics for 40 years. He first won his parliamentary seat in 1986. So those are 40 years that Kalonzo Musyoka has been in politics. But I think he will be the compromise candidate. Look at Gashago. Gashago basically was impeached, so he's barred from vying for public office. Then Matiang'i, maybe he will be told to bide his time and maybe wait until Kalonzo has been president. Then, of course, who else? You have Maraga. He will go it alone, but I think he will not get substantial votes. Then you have Okiom Tata, and of course, we don't know the fate of Edwin Sifuna and Babu. We know whether they will decide to run. So basically, I think to make presidents work, let's have a series of one-term presidents. That is what Martha Karua says. Martha Karua says that we should be having a series of one-term presidents for presidents to take their job seriously. And I think And this is something that I think we should consider. Or maybe let's just have remove these term limits. Let's say our president goes for one, maybe 7 year term or 1 5 year term. That is the way that we will remove all these politics so that when our president comes along, he does his job without worrying about seeking re-election. Maybe we need to ask that our president be a president for one term, maybe 7 years or maybe 5 years. So that's the way, or maybe 5 years is too little to complete projects. Let's say one 7 year term, we will save ourselves a lot of time so that when our president comes along, he knows that he needs to work and goes down to work. But I think Kenyan uh, it is very hard to beat an incumbent president in Africa. Don't think it will be a joke to remove Ruto from power. It is very hard. It is very hard to beat an incumbent president in Africa. Very hard. You have, but the president controls the courts, they control the military, they control the police. So basically, and also appoints the electoral referee. So basically, you can't see very much how the electoral referees, of course, according to the late Raila Odinga, he says he lost only one election. That is what Raila Odinga said. He said that he lost only one election. And that is the 1987 election. He says the rest of the election, 2007, 2013, 2017, 2022, he was rigged out. And of course, you could sympathize with Raila. But of course, you have Babu Owino saying they should not attempt that joke. They were trying on Raila Odinga that if they dare steal his votes, of course, Babu Owino has future ambitions to be president some years down the line. Of course, Babu Owino has said if they take votes away from him, if they rig him, if they rig another candidate, they will find him in state house, basically removing the bed of the sitting president. So basically, that's the sentiments of Babu Owino. So do you think William Ruto will be a one-term president? So maybe Kenya needs a series of one-term presidents if we are going to ensure that this country goes. This country can be Singapore. We can be Singapore if we get the right kind of leadership. But up to now, we have not found the right kind of leadership to be able to take this country places. If we find the right kind of leadership, that's the way we will elevate the status of this country, and that is the way we will make sure that we are. Just think about it. Even with all the looting, even with all the scandals in Kenya, we are the sixth largest economy in Africa and the largest non-mineral economy in Africa. So basically, you can imagine that if we pull our bootstraps along, if we get the right kind of leadership, and then we can basically ensure that Kenya, if it gets the right kind of leadership, then Kenya can be on a growth trajectory, and that's why maybe you have all these people saying Ruto should be a one-term president. So, do you agree? Do you think President Ruto should be a one-term president? So, you let me know in the comment section on whether you think President Ruto it should be a one-term president. And of course, this is a channel where we cover the top issues in Kenya. We go- uh, we cover governance. We want governance. We don't want politics. There's a difference between governance and politics. Governance is about utilizing resources optimally so that your people can prosper. Politics, a politician plans for the next election, but a governor plans for the next generation. A governor is essentially a statesman. They plan for the next generation. So that's what we need to have in Kenya. We need to have more statesmen, more governors, and more efficient Persian governors than and have less of a politician. Politicians have taken this country down the drain. Look at the politics we play. Basically, these people have taken the country down the drain. So, bye for now. I will be able to. I will be able to basically then I will be able to ask why is it that we need more of efficient Persian governance. We need more of statesmen than politicians who have driven this country to ruin. So basically, that's it for now. You can come here where I analyze the top issues of the day in Kenya and Africa generally. Then I give you my 2 cents worth of opinion and then you be the judge on what kind of leaders we have in this country. So bye for now. Till the next time. This is Good News Africa. Bye for now.